Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. And if you are looking for how to remove conditions on your conditional residence and you are prepared to file I-751 to remove conditions on your residence, then you are on the right spot. So stay tuned and I will tell you all the steps, all the documentations required to make your case more efficient and to get approved earlier and as much faster it can be. So my conditional green card is supposed to get expired on January 26 on 2023. So I still have a December, January. So I still have actually like more than a month before my conditional green card expires. So I had to file the I-751 to remove conditions on. So you guys know you have to file 90 days before your green card expires. So my 90-day window opened on October 26. So after October 26, I sent my petition. I collected all the paperwork, all the documentation, and all the things that I needed to fill out, and I completed everything. And I sent my petition on October 28, 2022. I sent everything to the USCIS, and after 3 days, I got a notice from the USCIS saying that your conditional permanent resident status is extended for 24 months from the expiration date on the form I-551 permanent resident card, also known as the green card. During this extension, you are authorized to work and travel and everything. So this letter extends the validity of my green card, which is a conditional, for 24 months. So okay, I was like, okay, now I can travel, I can work, everything's without problem, right? And after I received this letter, my extension letter, I was chilling, sitting, and just ready to travel. I actually had to travel to other country, so I was a little bit insecure before I travel. I just want to make sure everything goes right and there will be no problem on my return. So when I sent my paperwork on October 28, I put one letter in there to request the USCIS officer if he can reuse my fingerprints, because I was gonna travel right away after sending my paperwork to the USCIS. I was gonna travel to other country for my personal reasons. So after a couple of weeks went, and I was waiting, like hoping that they're gonna give me some update and there will be no fingerprint request from the USCIS, right? But the thing happened, I was in another country, and after 3 weeks, on November 20th, 2022, I received another notice from the USCIS that I have to give my fingerprints on the November 28th. So they gave me 1 week, just only 1 week. So I was in another country when I got this notice, and I freaked out. I was so nervous, scared that I was gonna miss my fingerprints, but thank God I just made on time. So I booked my flight. After I got this notice, I found it in the mail. I booked my flight like after 2 days, and I came back to the US and done my fingerprint on November 28th. So I show up on the fingerprints, everything went smooth, there was no problem. So when I came back home on the same day, November 28th, my status on the USCIS case status app it changed. The fingerprints were taken, and then after a couple of hours, it changed that my case was approved. So I couldn't believe it, that how everything can happen in the same day, So I called the USCIS. I say, hey, what's going on? I just seen like status changing every other 2 hours. My status keep changing, So what's going on? Is there some system glitch, or what's going on? So he said like my case was approved, and I was like, for a couple of minutes, I felt like, damn, how is gonna happen so fast? Everything happened in the same day. But yeah, he told me your case been approved, but it was not showing on the USCIS case status online. It was not showing that my case is approved, but the USCIS officer told me that my case was approved. And I just couldn't believe it, because the USCIS case status is showing something else and the officer is telling me something else. So I was confused, right? And everybody should be confused if you have like 2 different information in front of you and you don't know who to believe. So I was like, okay, I just didn't believe it, first of all. And after 2 hours, my case status changed, that my case was approved, and they sent me approval notice, and they will let me know what are the next steps that I need to take. And I was so excited. Like, I heard a lot of people waiting for 1 year, maybe like 1.5 years, and their cases are still pending, and they're not really, for them, I know I-751 is not really priority for the USCIS. So they don't really give a priority to these cases. And I was aware of that. And I didn't have any problem. I said, okay, you know, I already have a green card, so that's an important thing. And they sent me on the December 1st, I got another notice from the USCIS saying, let me get a letter. Here, I got another I-797 notice of action from the USCIS. It says, congratulations, USCIS approved your request to remove the conditions on your permanent resident status. You are deemed to be a lawful permanent resident of the United States as of the date of your original admissions or adjustment of status. You should receive a new permanent resident card, also known as a green card, within 60 days. Your card will include a mailer, Form I-797D, with important information about your status and responsibilities, as well as permanent resident services available to you. And that's it. Okay, I was so excited. I just couldn't believe it. It really happened, everything in the same day. I don't know if it happened really, if it's rare, it's common, happens all the time, but this happened to me, and I was completely thankful to God that it was really worth it to travel back to the US for the fingerprints. I was scared that I was gonna miss my fingerprints appointment, but once it got approved, after 3 days, I got my green card in the mail. So on December 4th, I got the mail from the USCIS, as you guys can see. Read in sequence what things I submitted to the USCIS in my I-751 folder. Everything is in sequence, okay? So if I read all the way from the top to the bottom, this is how I submitted my folder. So the first thing I submitted, it was the application fee, which was on the top of everything. The application fee of $680, which was a check payable to the US Department of the Homeland Security, which you can get from your bank, the money order or any other kind of payment form. You know, it's everything written on the USCIS websites, what kind of payments USCIS accept on the I-751 form. So you can check on there too. So I submitted from my bank, or you can submit the money order, easiest way. And the second which I submitted, it was a completed form G1145, which is for the notification that if USCIS take actions on your case, they will send you a message or email on your, you know, on the listed whatever you provide, email you provide on this form. So they give you update on your case if you fill out this form. It is not mandatory. It's just your choice. If you guys want updates sent to your phone number or email address, so fill out this form, which is G1145. Third, I submitted the completed and signed I-751 petition to remove conditions of residence. So the completed form, sign your name and everything on there, make sure everything is correct. Fourth, I submitted a copy of my permanent resident card, which is a conditional green card, front and back. Fifth, I submitted the copy of my new passport. So when I came here in the US, it was my old passport when I entered in the US. So I renewed my passport from my country. So I submitted the biographic page copy of the new passport. Point 6, the copy of my CR1 visa. 7th, I submitted the copy of marriage certificate. And then 8, you can submitted the evidence. You can submit the evidence for the bona fide marriage, right? So in bona fide evidence, what you can submit, which I submitted, was family pictures and sworn affidavit of support by the family and friends, copies and second copies of joint tax returns for 2019 and 2021. And then I submitted, don't submit the whole, like, you know, for 1 year. Probably if you file the taxes, you can see sometimes it's more than like 50 pages, right? You don't have to submit the everything on the tax return copies. You just submit the first important 5 or 6 pages for each year. Just take those pages and make a copy, and because USCIS just want to see if you and your spouse file the taxes jointly, right? Just, you don't need to submit everything whatever happened on the taxes. You just need to submit the front, maybe first 5 or 6 pages. And then I submitted was the copies of joint tax return transcripts. I did that because I didn't have my 3 years tax returns. I didn't have it with me. I had only 2 years. So I went to the IRS website and I downloaded the tax return transcripts. So it's pretty easy. You guys just go there and download from there. So I submitted the 3 years joint tax return transcripts for 2019, 2020, and 2021. The next I submitted is copies of joint health and dental insurance, and then I submitted the car insurance and automobile title, the copy of our title of our joint car. Excuse me. So I submitted the automobile title copy, and then the next I submitted was copies of joint credit card statements, joint bank account statements, and next was copies of joint gas bills, energy bills, gift merchandise bills, and next was copies of our driver licenses and gift merchandise bills. And the next was copies for our driver license. It was a copy of my driver license and my wife's driver license, and the front and back. Make sure you guys submit from the back. And the next was copy of request for reuse of fingerprints. So I wrote my explanation. I made a letter requesting the USCIS if they can reuse my fingerprints, because they already have in their system. So sometimes they waive off the fingerprints. So because after sending my petition on October 28, I was gonna go to overseas for an emergency. For that reason, I was not gonna be able to come back to the US for the fingerprints. So I submitted my request in the petition with a folder. I put my request in there saying that please just reuse my fingerprints for my personal reasons. I won't be able to come back to the US for the fingerprints. But which they denied. They didn't accept my request for the reusing of the fingerprints, because later on I received a fingerprints appointment notice from the USCIS, which means they denied my request. And I say okay. And the last one was copies of our cell phone bills, how many months we were paying the bills. I had my wife on my bills and everything, all our cell phones and also I submitted the statements, all the bills we paid for previous years. I made a copy of all these statements and submitted along with the petition I-751. After that, this was my cover letter, which I submitted on the top of I-75 folder. So you need to get a folder. You can get it from Home Depot or Office Depot, or just go there and get from Walmart, whatever is closest to you. You get the big folder. I had like 4 folders for all this documentation. So in the first folder, I put the picture, I put my I-751 along with the fee. So the $680 check, few pictures, and G1145 form in first folder. That's it. Okay. And the next folder was the proof of all this bona fide marriage, whatever I explained previously, whatever told you guys. After that, just you guys need to make sure where you sending your package. If you're living in the California, then depending on your state, what state you live in, USCIS, you can find out on the USCIS website where you can mail your paperwork depending on the location where you live in, right? So you can check on the USCIS website where I can mail my I-751. If you write it like that, it will show you where you can mail. So I just gave my address to the FedEx where I want to send my package. So they already had it in their system. They just put all the information and took my ID, and it was sent to the USCIS. So after all this, everything happened, it just from filing till getting my green card, it took me probably a month and 10 days with all these notices, NOA1, NOA2, and the approval notice, and finally I got my green card. So all this thing to happen only in one month and couple of days. So hey, that was it for today's video. So the conclusion of this video is that you guys don't need to pay thousands of dollars to hire an attorney for this simple procedure, which you guys can simply do it. It's not impossible, it's just little bit, I know it's just little bit headache, you have to collect all this paperwork, but yeah, you can do this. You don't need to hire any attorney. Or if you guys have any question, just make a comment in the section, I will be there to help you. But if you guys want to watch in the next video, if you want me to make a video filling out the form I-751 and letting you guys know step by step how to fill out this form, so like this video, subscribe my channel, and share the video with the people who are going through the same situation so it can help them out. So see you in the next video. By then, I will say yay!